All right guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a few weeks since I've actually put out a video for you guys, and I apologize for that, but I've had a lot of stuff going on. My daughter just graduated high school, and I ended up getting sick like right after her graduation, but it's been a few weeks. But today I want to show you a few things that I have been doing here at the house. You can probably tell I've got a nasty sunburn already. We did take the boat out for a little while yesterday, but I've been working on the kayak in my downtime. Every time I'd feel a little bit better, I'd come out here to the garage and do some stuff. But I've made a lot of changes since the last time that you've seen this thing, which is, they're gonna be big changes. So I've added lights, rewired some stuff, added a second battery, relocated my Garmin, all kind of different stuff so that I could land fish on both sides of the boat, all that cool stuff. But what I'm gonna do for today's video, I'm just gonna turn the camera around, walk you through my whole kayak setup the way I have it now. And because I wanna take some fishing videos tomorrow, and I knew if I did, a lot of you guys would have a million questions on why I changed the setup from the way I had it to this. So I'm gonna show you what I've changed and tell you why I changed it. So y'all check it out. So if you followed for a while, you know we added the XI3 trolling motor a few weeks back. We wired it up and we put the Dakota Lithium 100 amp hour battery back here behind the seat where we can just kind of plug it up and go. And all of that worked out great. And in the past couple of weeks, I thought that I was gonna be able to get away with just running my trolling motor and my Garmin off of the big battery. But I started having some interference. So I would be running, every time I would hit the spot lock or something, it would cause like an interference in the graph. Like I'd have these waves that went back and forth over the graph. So I ended up deciding to go with the other Dakota Lithium that I had. And I think it was I can't remember, I'll show you real quick, but I also added the bucket down here and added so much stuff this week. I can't wait to show you everything. Let me see if I can get this bucket out with one hand. Probably can't. All right, so I ended up adding a 12 volt, 23 amp hour Dakota Lithium battery under here, and I've got it wired up to everything else. So now the 100 amp hour is the only thing it runs is the XI3. That is it. This one, the 12 volt, 23 amp hour, it runs everything else that I've installed, which up until a couple of days ago was only a graph. But I did decide to do some additions this week, and let me show you what I've added. If you've noticed right here, I did go with a Yak power system. So if you hit that, and I didn't do a video on this for you guys because if you've followed for a long time, you know that I've done this in a Hobie Pro Angler 14 before. So I'll link that video here if you're interested on how to install everything I'm fixing to show you. But I didn't want to film it again. I can just reference you back to that video. It's really easy to install these kits, and I ran lights, wires, everything I needed to plug up to this. But the way it works is you program each one of these buttons to go where you want it to go. So my number 1 button sends power to my Garmin, and yeah, it's mounted up here now, and I'll go over that setup in just a minute. But now I can run my Garmin by using that power button right there, and when I want to kill it, I can just actually press that number 1, turn it off, and it will actually kill the Garmin. Did it boot up? There it is. But that number 1 runs that, and then this B button right here, if you hit it, I went ahead and installed the Yak Power navigation lights for the front. So I got the red and I've got the green. And I went ahead and just mounted those the same way I did in the last video, or I think I've installed a million of these, but I went ahead and drilled the holes and put them in the boat because I plan on wrapping it soon, and I figured I'd go ahead and get the lights that I'm gonna put on here where they go before I have to go with a wrap and then have to, you know, change directions on which way I'm gonna go with the wrap and stuff like that. So I added those lights, and these might be hard to see because it's so bright in here, but if you turn those off, you go to the M, which is mid, you can see that I added 4 of the LEDs. These are those little, and they're super bright. It's hard to even show them on camera, I think, but they're the blue ones, and if you look, let me go to the other side. The way I'll have them located in here now is they're kind of, the front ones are hidden under here so they don't shine right in your face. When I'm sitting in the seat, like you can't see the exact light, you just see the glow, which is good. And these are tucked up kind of behind my legs, but in the mornings, I've got to test these out once already, and it's great. It lights up everything in the floor of the kayak. I've got a ton of room to work on stuff, rig up stuff, cut line, and do what I need to do. And then I can just reach over here and hit the button and turn them off. And for the S on here, if you hit that, I decided to add a couple of blue lights at the back on the outside of the boat. I just stuck one here and one here. Let's see if you can see how bright they are. They're super bright. They're gonna be just over the water line. So early in the mornings, I'm still gonna have my nav light at the top. You know, to be legal, you gotta have your white light up at the top. But I wanted to add these little accent lights at the back. So if I am sitting in a marina with a bunch of bass boats, they can see, you know, they're not gonna have a problem seeing my boat floating out there with all these lights. So that's one of the things I decided to add was the Yak power system. After I said I didn't want to drill holes in the boat, I went ahead and drilled a bunch of holes in the boat. This one I think was the biggest one here to add that little push button bank system, but it's really cool. I can power up my Garmin just by reaching over here and pushing that #1 button. And speaking of the Garmin, you notice that it's always been mounted over here on the right side. And it worked out good because I like to be able to reach over and touch it and kind of zoom in and stuff on the screen. But I've been watching, I think her name's Christine Fisher, and they set her kayak up this year with her pair of Garmin's here, and one of them's her live scope and one of them's just the 73 like this one. But I really like the setup because she was able to land fish and use her net over both rails of her boat, because it gives, as you can tell, I got full access now to both sides. And all they done was I ordered this 21-inch Hobie H-rail from Amazon, and it fits perfectly. I mean, it screws right into this mounting plate right across there, and then I can put mounts on it. And I ordered a pair of these little flat mounts from Hobie. I think this is one of them right here that I use for my phone mount. I just ordered a pair of those and mounted the Garmin mount straight to it. But now it's kind of right in the center. And I tested it out. Like at first I was worried that my feet were gonna get near it whenever I'm pedaling. But even with my feet in here, when I pedal, they're still right up under the monitor. So my feet will be here, and you know, if I'm pedaling or whatever, but most of the time I'm gonna have this plug in the floor. My Mirage Drive, as you can see, is still up under there. It's gonna be under my seat, and I'm gonna have a full, you know, floor right here anyway. So I'm not gonna have to worry about that because we're gonna be running the trolling motor 90% of the time when we're fishing into this thing. But I really like it. I've got my Bluetooth speaker mounted right here. It's just a little cheap waterproof one. I think you can get it on Amazon. I'll link it below in my kit if you're interested in it. But I'll hop on here and just Bluetooth my phone to it, play music, just ride around on the river with a trolling motor and go fishing. Let's see if there's anything else I added. I did 3D print a couple of things that I wanted to test. One of the issues that I was having was the remote control for my XI3. I have to wear a life jacket, you know, when you're fishing the tournaments. And also I like to wear a chesty GoPro camera. And this thing just kept getting in the way. Like it was always just like in my way around my neck. It was either in the view of the camera or it was getting tangled up in something. So anyway, I decided to 3D print me a case to put the remote in, and then I can just strap it straight to the armrest, and I can just reach down and control the trolling motor just by a touch of a button. So I really like that. And I just finished 3D printing me something else. I've got it drying over here now because it's a 2-piece print. But this, I've got it clamped up. I got Gorilla Glue. You can see it squeezing out everywhere. But if you can't tell what that's gonna be, this is a sunshade, and it's gonna go right over the top of the Garmin. And it should come out something like this over the top, and it should give me a good sunshade because it's kind of angled up and the sun was glaring on it. But I like it. The setup's doing good so far. I think that's all I've changed I did switch from the NRS. I know you guys are gonna ask me about this. I decided to go with the Mustangs this year. The NRS, I like them. They just, I don't know. I felt like I felt weird trying to cast and reel because I felt like my arms were like way out away from my chest when I was trying to do it. So I'm gonna give this a shot. Not to mention, there's a flat back on this Mustang, so it doesn't get in the way when I'm trying to just relax and sit back and stuff. So I just picked this up. I put the NRS up and I got this one in this week. So I'm gonna be testing out the Mustang. I think I'm gonna like it because it's, like I said, it's really low profile, really slim. And yeah, I'm getting rigged up right now. As you can see, I got all the rods, I relined most of them, tying some stuff on, and I'm getting ready to go fishing. I did add these rod holders across the back of my angle. I ordered those off Amazon so I could add 4 more off the back. So I think that is it. I think that's all that I've added, and I'm rigging up right now because I want to fish a tournament for Bucks Island Marina this month. I want to get out on the water as much as possible this week. And speaking of Bucks Island Marina, I'm fishing a tournament, like I just said, for the full month of June, and we're gonna be, I think there's like 10 anglers in it already, just kayak fishing, and you can fish the state, and it's on Tourney X. If you wanted to join it, you go to Tourney X app and sign up for it there. But they're also, this coming Saturday, I think it's gonna be June the 11th, we're having a huge day at Bucks Island where you can come out and demo all of the kayaks. Just a big demo day. Jackson's gonna be there. I think Torquedo's gonna be there. All the cool reps are gonna be there with their cool stuff. Come down to Bucks Island Marina if you're in town. June the 11th, Saturday, it'll be an all-day thing. They'll have the kayaks right on the water, so when you get there, if you're shopping for a new kayak and you want to test out some new models, they are going to have some brand new model for Jackson's there, so come check them out. I think you'll like them. I am going to be there. I'll probably have my kayak set up there this week, and if you want to come out and fish with me, y'all come out and say hey. I am going to be fishing a lot of tournaments coming up, so I want to get these videos lined up and all this footage for you guys ready, so be on the lookout. I apologize again for not uploading these past few weeks, but I got sick, daughter graduated, life happens, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to it. I'm sorry this video is just one of these rambling, talking head videos. I kind of hate these things, but I wanted to give you guys an update and just not leave you guys hanging. And I'm gonna get back to work on this thing, get it set up, go catch some fish and get some footage for you guys. I'll catch you next Thursday at 2 o'clock. Peace.